I respect everybody until you earn my disrespect. So it seems that Benghazi is going to fall down around HITLERY's ears. She lied. So did the illegal alien Muslim residing in my White House. Bald-faced, knew they were lying, lied right to our faces. And I'm called all kinds of names because I want to know the truth. I'm a right-wing extremist because I insist on having the truth. Men got killed because help was denied. That's pretty much a fact now, that help was denied. Well, they can't get there in time. Can't get there in time. So you knew how long this attack was going to last? You knew that in 2 hours it was going to be done? Boy, that sounds like it was set up. That sounds like you had inside information. You couldn't send help in time. How do you know what in time was? Oh, as a matter of fact, why aren't any of you people focusing on the fact that the leader of the free world, the man in charge, the head of the whole defense, our army, he went to bed. You see, Beyonce and Crazy weren't performing that night, so he had to go to bed. Lazy, illegal, alien, Muslim puke had to go to bed. Men were being killed. He knew this before he went to bed. This is a leader? This is a lazy puke. A piece of shit scum who went to bed while our men were being murdered. From what I hear, Chris Stevens was raped and tortured before he was murdered. And if I'm not mistaken, we had drones flying overhead, watching. And you people are just going to let this shit fly. Are we Americans? Shouldn't we be looking out for our fellow Americans? Especially the ones that are overseas. The ones who are in these hostile nations. Now, it is my firm belief that I don't know what the hell we're doing there. Why do we care if these scum hate us? Let them burn our flag on their own dime. Instead, we send hundreds of millions and trillions of dollars over to these pukes. These scum. These Muslims. Camel fornicating Muslims. Allah? I shit on Allah. I shit on Muhammad. You see, Christ and Jesus never taught us that deception will be rewarded. They never taught us that killing, maiming, hurting people would be rewarded. God nor Jesus taught us that we could marry prepubescent children. That is the Muslim faith. Well, it's actually a cult. It's not a faith at all. Faith is usually based on good. But if you look at the Muslim faith, it's all hate-based. It's all based on the man being the king of his castle. The man can beat his wife. The man can trade his children for debt. How is that looking out for the child who's being traded? How is that looking out for the woman who's being beaten into submission? How does that help them at all? Really? Tell me. It's suppression. You're suppressing everybody in your house by Muslim law, Sharia law. Somebody steals from you, you cut their hand off. That's an infringement on a man's constitutional rights. So Sharia law will never ever survive in this country as long as we have the Constitution. And let me remind you people something else. The Second Amendment keeps the rest of the amendments alive and well. It is only the citizen's right to keep and bear arms that support the rest of the Constitution. Once the Second Amendment is abolished, and that is, people, you need to realize this, America, we can't let this happen. This is what old bunghole wants. In the end, that is exactly what he wants. He wants your Second Amendment right eviscerated. Now, we chip away at it a little by little, but in the end, when it's gone, it's gone. We need to recognize this. We cannot let this happen. Benghazi was a setup for a man to get killed. There can be no other explanation. Help wouldn't have been there in time. That statement right there alone tells you they knew how long that this attack was going to last. How could they possibly know? How could they possibly know that nobody could get there in time? Now, if you ask me, you first set in motion the people to go and help, then you worry about if they're going to get there in time. Can you recognize this, America? Can you see this? When some abysmally ignorant whore gets up in front of the Congress and the Senate and tells them, what difference does it make at this point in time? What difference does it make? Well, the difference is, you abysmally ignorant pig, is that men were dead. Men were being attacked and killed. And in order to find out who did it, usually the motivation for that will lead you to the culprit. Ask any cop. Ask any detective. Ask any FBI agent. You look for the motive. Usually points at the perpetrator. But America eats this up with a spoon. What does it matter? Unreal. Unreal that nobody jumped on that statement alone. What does it matter? Now this pig actually thinks she's going to be able to reside in our White House. She's qualified to run the country. She's qualified to make sure that our emissaries overseas are safe and guarded. Nope. She does not care about Mr. Stevens. Of course not. Well, he's dead. What is wrong with America when we can actually sit back and let this happen, and we think that checks and balances are in place to make sure that it won't happen? As we've seen, those are woefully inadequate. Can you not see this, America? Woefully inadequate. They were told to stand down. Don't tell me to stand down, bitch. Because first of all, I'm going to go and help my friends. And then I am going to scream the loudest and the longest to get anybody that will listen to me. I don't get it, America. We are the checks and balances. It is you and I, the average American, that is going to make sure that the Benghazi bitch gets what she has coming to her. I think it should be no less than a jail cell. They didn't do their jobs. The leader of the free world didn't do his job. He went to bed. Like I said, Beyonce and Crazy weren't performing that night. What did he have to stay up for? You people aren't recognizing this? America isn't seeing this? He was so concerned about an attack on an embassy overseas, then he went to bed. I think, if you ask me, that shows complicity. He knew what was going on, and he turned his head. Didn't want to know. You got this, HITLEry. Make sure you give the stand-down order, honey. And men died. And because we want answers, because the parents of the men that were killed still haven't gotten answers. But this pig will actually sit in front of us and say, what did it matter? We're starting to find out what it mattered. Because it all leads right back to her. It all leads right back to her. And I'm pretty sure that old bunghole was standing right over her shoulder. How can you go to bed while men are being murdered? Our embassy is being attacked. And supposedly you're the #1 man. Well, I beg to differ. A man stands up for who he is. A fraud goes to bed and doesn't give a shit. You and I, America, it is you and I, the average American citizen, the patriot, who's going to stand up and make sure that we wash all of this laundry clean. We need to know. We deserve the truth. The truth from people that we employ. Would you put up with an employee who said, yeah, I fixed that roof, boss? And every time you drive by the house, you see the old shingles are still there. Nobody got up on that roof. Nobody fixed anything. We need to look into this. We need to get on the phone and call. Call the congressman. Call your senator. Call the White House. These are toll-free calls, by the way, people. It doesn't cost you anything, except a little bit of your time. A little bit of effort. Get off your patriotic American ass and do something. Call. Tell them this will not stand. Make the call. Every day. When it's just me calling, I could be called an asshat. I could be called a conspiracy theorist. I could be called all kinds of names, a truther, a constitutionalist. But when a whole bunch of us start calling, that label starts to disintegrate. Because I'm not just some lone conspiracy theorist anymore. Now I'm part of the awake. Now I'm part of the aware. Where a couple of days ago, I was just a tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist, truther, constitutionalist. Gotta love all them labels. But what I hate the most is when you put that label on me with a sneer. All I ever wanted was for my government to follow the Constitution, because as we know, the Constitution are restrictions on the government. They're not restrictions on the American public. Constitution was to keep the government in check, not the people. Educate ourselves, America. We need to come on with a vengeance. Men died because people that we pay didn't do their jobs. Make some calls, people, please. Do your job. Do your duty. God bless America. God bless us all. Good luck. I think we're going to need it.